my loves, Ascend Out here coming at you with another video. And as you can see, this setup is a little different because I don't know, I'm at home and I'm in my office and we're going all the way back to school. So I just figured we could be in a different environment. And then you can see my shirt. I'm saying everything that I'm gonna say now out of love, so let's get into it. One of the comments that I see most in my videos or in other natural hairstylist videos, everybody's like, oh my god, heat damage this, oh my god, you're gonna get heat damage, oh my god, her curls are gone. It's because of heat damage. She's pressed her hair too much. There are so many other things that can go into your hair being damaged, but for me to get you guys to properly understand exactly what I'm talking about, we're gonna have to start from the inside, past the cuticle layer. Okay, so our hair is constructed of polypeptide chains, okay? And that polypeptide chain is made up of 3 main bonds. That is a salt bond, a disulfide bond, and a hydrogen bond, okay? So we're not really gonna deal with the salt bond today. Today, we're gonna deal with the disulfide bond and the hydrogen bond, okay? Okay. I notice that I have Olaplex sitting right here. I promise we will get to this. Just keep watching and get your pen and paper out, girl, because we're going all the way to class, okay? All the way. So your hair in its entirety is made up of primarily proteins, and the main protein that your hair is made up of is keratin. So keratin and protein is basically just a long strip or a long chain of silk amino. There is one main protein that keratin holds, and here's the name of it right here because I'm not about to say it wrong right now. So with this protein here, it also holds a lot of sulfur in it, and the sulfide bonds have 2 sulfur bonds, thus the name disulfide bond, and they hold your hair and everything in its entirety together like glue. Okay, so one of the main things that we get other than heat damage and stuff like that, we'll get to that next because we're on the disulfide bond right now. And one of the main things that I get, especially with the last couple of videos that I've done, are like, people are saying things like, oh my god, color is not for black women. Black women should not get hair color. Black people are not supposed to get hair color. But let's talk about something really quick. Now that we know exactly what a disulfide bond is, let's go into what is actually happening when your hair is black, brown, blonde, anything like that. So everybody loves black hair sometimes, right? And you may notice that if your hair is really damaged, or just in general, if you dye your hair black, like jet black hair looks so beautiful and it looks so healthy. Well, black hair absorbs every color. Okay, black absorbs every color, and this next part excites me so much about melanin, maybe because I got some melanin and stuff, but melanin is so dope. You guys understand that black hair is hair that is full of melanin. The darker your hair is, the more melanin you have present in your hair. Yes, and so black people have melanin in their hair and melanin in their skin. Okay, so as black women, we need to understand exactly what we're dealing with. Melanin is not just in your skin. Melanin is also in your hair. Okay, so if you are coloring your hair, what you are doing is breaking down the melanin bond, right? What you're doing is separating the melanin, and the melanin bond looks like this. Okay, so whenever you put in any type of lightener, or if you use a relaxer or any type of chemical service, what you are doing is permanently separating those links and changing the chemical aspect of your hair. Okay, so whenever somebody, and this doesn't matter what race you are, if your hair is black and then you put bleach on it, what the bleach is doing, not bleach, if you have dark hair and you put the lightener on, what the lightener is doing is breaking apart the melanin and extracting some of the melanin and breaking up that melanin, because now that the particles are broken up like this, now your hair can no longer absorb the light and the different colors, so now it's white, and the more melanin you extract out, the lighter your hair gets. Okay, so that is what is happening when you are coloring your hair. When somebody's hair is lighter, when somebody's hair is blonde, when somebody's hair is lighter than yours, it's not because they're better, it's not because they're light, nothing. Their hair just does not have as much melanin as your hair does. If your hair is very dark, you have a lot of melanin in your hair. Yeah. Anywho, so like I said, whenever you are coloring your hair, you are breaking apart the melanin that is there. Okay, and so once you break apart the melanin that's there, i.e. pulling pigment out of your hair, that pigment is also called melanin. Okay, yeah. So once you have pulled out all of the melanin out of your hair, you can now impart whatever new pigment you want to replace it with. Now what happens is, if you are not properly educated on how to extract the melanin out of someone's head, whenever you break apart those disulfide bonds, they don't know how to come back together. Let's move to the chart and bring this a little closer so we can go to school really quick. Yes, the disulfide bond cannot be broken down with water, like I said. So you're not, unless you got acid in your water, you're not breaking down your hair permanently, like anything that's gonna cause anything permanent to happen to your hair. So like perms, relaxers, lighteners, any type of chemical service can permanently change the disulfide bond. There are other things that can cause the disulfide bond to break down. Now anytime it's unreversible, you have went beyond breaking down the hydrogen bond, which is temporarily broken, and the disulfide bond is broken down and it's hard for you to bring it back together. But let's go over some things, and I wrote this down here on the chart so visually you guys can see it and so I can remember what I'm talking about. But research this for yourself because this is scientifically proven. Okay, I'm not making it up as I go. Okay, so one thing, obviously, chemicals can permanently break down the disulfide bond. Number one thing, like I said, thermal styling. Of course, people know that that's something that can permanently break them away. But that is the only thing that you guys know about. Nobody even wants to talk. Nobody even knows about the other things. So like I said, sun and UV lights. So with the sun, people don't understand, like it's 120 degrees sometimes here in Vegas. So if you have a job where you're standing outside all the time, or even if you're not standing outside for long periods of time, if you're not protected, just like if you keep going outside, if you're standing outside and your skin can burn. You can get skin burn, like you can get sunburn and rashes and breakout on your skin from exposure to the sun too much. Why do you think your hair is anything different? Or a lot of people like to say like, oh, I don't need no hairstylist, I can do it myself. I can color my own hair, which is fine. I mean, yeah, you can. You're right. Anybody can pour some here and pour something there. However, a licensed cosmetologist or a licensed hairstylist, whatever you want to call it, somebody who's been to school knows how to control the natural pH balance. Because this is the thing, whenever you buy box color from the hair store, they have a very, very high, they have a very, very like uncomfortable and unhealthy pH balance for everyone, because they know that that bottle is going to be bought by a bunch of different people from a lot of different races. So they want to have the pH balance as strong as it possibly can, so that way it can lift for anybody. So you can break your disulfide bonds like that. You can also break your disulfide bonds from all of these at-home remedies that everybody likes to do, like rice water and things of that nature. You can damage your curl pattern to the point where it'll look to you like heat damage, because you have disturbed your disulfide bonds, because you keep using things that you're making at your house that you've learned from a YouTuber. It's not a problem. Obviously, I'm a YouTuber. No, I mean a YouTuber that does not have an education. A YouTuber that went in her kitchen. It's methods to this stuff. You can't just pick up stuff and like, oh, I'm gonna put it in my hair. No, you need to make sure that you have a take on the natural pH balance, because if the pH balance is an unhealthy level for your hair, you're going to completely break your disulfide bond. Okay, so there's number one. Now, the reason that I have Olaplex here is because Olaplex can help us to repair the disulfide bonds and the hydrogen bonds. Help, but we're gonna get to that in a minute. I promise we're all done. Let's go ahead and move along, girl, to that hydrogen bond. Okay, put my tea in here because whenever I get amped, I like to have tea around because it reminds me to calm down, because I'm such a nerd and I just The hydrogen bond is the one cross linkage that can be temporarily broken and temporarily changed, and it can go back. Now, the hydrogen bond is the one that isn't like, oh, it's scary, right? Because the hydrogen bond can be temporarily manipulated. The temporary cross linkage that can be temporarily changed and edited for a season, you know, until water is reintroduced. Now this manipulation happens for everybody, right? For all races. It's no different. The disulfide bond and the hydrogen bond, it acts the same on everybody's hair. But remember what I taught you. The curl chart is not real. Everybody has a follicle, right? So for Asian hair, and I'm only saying Asian hair because Asian hair is some of the strongest hair, right? I mean, some of it is the straightest hair. So for Asian hair, their cuticle is, for Asian hair, their follicle is completely round, right? And then for, even though that's not completely round, but you understand what I'm trying to say. And then for Caucasian hair, the cuticle is more like oval shaped. And the more ethnic you get, it goes smaller and smaller. So when you get to what would constitute to some people is 4C hair, or whatever y'all want to call it, whatever it is after 4C, like the kinkiest texture you ever have seen, has a follicle that is like shut, like closed almost, right? There's nothing wrong with that. The cuticles are just different sizes. Okay. Obviously, sometimes if somebody has curlier hair, they have more disulfide bonds linked together in their hair because their hair going like that. Their hair like, girl, okay, let's link together. And then you may have more density. If your hair is more dense, you just may have more of those bonds in your hair. That's it. The way that most African Americans like to manipulate their polypeptide chains, aka their hair, is with relaxers or with thermal straightening. However, there are so many other ways that you can damage your cuticle level other than heat damage. And if we know better, we do better. We gotta know better, girl. Let's keep it moving. Like I said, the hydrogen bond can be broken with water. The whole Team Natural community, what we do on a regular basis is break the hydrogen bond. Now, there is nothing wrong with breaking the hydrogen bond. However, you need to know what a hydrogen bond is. You need to know what's happening when you break it. And then you need to know what you need to do to seal it back up. Because if you do not seal it up, you walk around with a broken hydrogen bond. And that's why the majority of the time when you come on my channel, you see that most naturals have the most damage. I didn't say that because I'm trying to be like, oh, I don't like for black women to wear their natural hair. No, I don't like for black women to wear their natural hair from a place of like, oh, this makes me more black. No, it doesn't. It doesn't make you more black. A white person wearing their hair straight doesn't make them more white. Like, your hair is curly because your follicle is shrunken like this. Our hair is not curly because we were in slavery. Our hair is not curly because our skin is dark. Your hair is curly because your follicle is like this. Bro. Anyway, so we are manipulating. The reason that I think us understanding the hydrogen bond is so important is because in the natural hair community, that's what we do the most. We manipulate that hydrogen bond. Once the hydrogen bond is broken, you now are free to do whatever you want to do. Now you have complete and total control. It's like fun. It's like, oh, like once you wash your hair, it's like, let's play a game now. What game do you want to play? Do you want to play the Flexi Rod game? Do you want to play the Silk Wrap game? What game do you want to play? And that's basically what it is. But this is the problem. Most of you get here on YouTube and you'll find these videos and they're like, oh, don't wash your hair dry, don't comb out your hair dry, make sure you add conditioner first. Well, that is an issue. And on one of my videos, I got so much crap because they were like, oh my god, why do you detangle hair dry? Because the second that you put any type of water, whenever you put H2O on your hair, you break the hydrogen bond. Okay, and this is the issue. You are breaking the hydrogen bond when your hair is still in a very, very, very messed up state. Like if somebody's hair is matted and tangled, the last thing you want to do is wet the hair, because when you wet the hair, you break down every last bond in the hair, and now you breaking through the hair. And whenever you break the hydrogen bond, you're letting your hair, that is a living organism, know, hey, I'm ready to manipulate you. I'm ready to tell you what to do. So if you're combing and raking through the hair, it's like, okay, you want me to break. That's dumb, but stupid. She want to be a bald head skittle diddle. Most naturals are like, oh my God, you're only supposed to go ahead and you're only supposed to do it after you put conditioner in. That scientifically, that is not true. Scientifically, if you put water in your hair while it is tangled, you are breaking down those hydrogen bonds and you are forcing your hair to break. Yes, you are able to get it detangled better. And this is the thing, somebody's probably watching right now like, whatever, I'm using the conditioner whenever I detangle my hair because it comes through. Once I put the conditioner in there, it just slips through. Yes, it slips through, baby, because you just broke down all of your hydrogen bonds, tinker tuts. But then even though it slipped through easier and it's easier for you to comb it out, you're still combing it out. That's why you guys are like, oh my God, whenever I comb my hair and I detangle my hair, there are globs of my hair coming out. That's for two reasons. The first reason is if you haven't combed your hair in a while, that's normal because you're supposed to lose so many hundreds of strands per day. But then if you wet your hair before you detangled it, you broke your hydrogen bonds before you gave your hair a plan. Okay? So that's thing number two with the hydrogen bond. The second thing that causes damage, we are so hell-bent on listening to everything that we see here on YouTube. Everybody is so crazy about rice water. Now, in a controlled pH balance, there's a possibility that rose water is great on you with a controlled pH balance. Most of you do not know how to control the natural pH balance of a product. Do you know how to control the natural pH balance? So if you do not have the pH balance controlled, and let's say it's like a 2, yes, that is why your hair is going to break, because a negative pH balance actually can permanently, the negative pH balance, remember, that's the thing that permanently changes. That's the thing that permanently breaks down those disulfide bonds. You do use hair color, or whenever you use products that have too high of a pH balance or anything, you start to disrupt things. And for like hair color, for example, you attach that hydrogen peroxide that's in that hair color, it attaches to that the sulfide bond, and so now it breaks up. So it's not a disulfide bond anymore. Now they're just individual sulfide bonds standing by themselves being attacked. So that's where all of the little red is at. So now they're all standing on their own by themselves, right? Like I said, we use all of these products that all of these random people here on YouTube like, ooh, I tried this on my hair, you should try it on yours too. And then all of this stuff ends up happening to your hair and you don't understand why. Because you need to understand that you need to use products from people who are scientifically licensed, people who are licensed to create chemicals to go in your head. You're not a chemist. Like, I'm not a what do you call it? I'm not a mechanic. So I can't take my car. I'm not going to take my car, like go outside and start trying to learn how to mess around in my car. Now I can mess it up and try it. It may work after a while. But is it gonna work as good as somebody who spent their life putting their craft into it? No, absolutely not. Air drying isn't okay, but the air drying needs to be controlled. Like, it needs to be done in a certain way. And honestly, like, no, I just said that because I don't feel like all of the grandkids in my comments, but no. Air drying is not a way to control it. Like, you can get you a hooded dryer or something like that, but to put your hair in a ponytail the whole day, or think about it, like air drying like in a knot, or air drying with certain like flexi rods on, and you do that every single night. Like every night you dry with like straws in your hair and stuff like that. And this is not for the people who dry and it's 100% dry when they wake up. That's not who I'm talking about. I'm talking about people who are like, oh, I'm just gonna do the wash and go and I'm gonna be out all day and I'm not gonna put anything else in my hair. Or some people, they'll be like, oh, I'm natural, so they'll just get up and put one ponytail holder on and put it on like that. No, you need to train the hydrogen bond to go back to the way that it was, and tell the hydrogen bond what you want it to do once you've given it a command, because you break down that hydrogen bond when you add the water. So once you've broken it down, you have to tell it what to do. That is why I always use a cold shot. I always use a cold shot after I get done with doing heat styling, because that is my way of telling the hydrogen bond, okay, like now I've manipulated you with this blow dryer. I need you to stay in this position that I'm locking you in until I add water to break you down again. Now that we know all about the cuticle layer and as much information as I could try to give you, because we will literally be here all day, bro, like all day. But now that you know like a little bit more about the hydrogen bond and the disulfide bond, let's talk about why Olaplex has been sitting here the whole time. Now, everybody always asks me like, oh, Sin, what can I do to seal my cuticle layer? What can I do to fix my curl pattern? My curl pattern has gotten weak. What should I do? Well, sugar toots, I am here to tell you that there's really only one thing that you can do to fix it, and that's use Olaplex. Why am I saying that? First of all, let me say this. Olaplex is not paying me to say this, but these are facts. The main ingredient in Olaplex that makes it so amazing that it's patented. It's patented. Patent means that if somebody else uses the complex that I'm going to tell you about, they gotta pay Olaplex. Okay, so this is the main ingredient for Olaplex. I am not about to say it something the blue something extra. I'm not. No. That's the main ingredient in Olaplex, right? Now, what is so amazing about Olaplex, the reason that they were able to patent it is because whoever the masterful scientist is figured out that this ingredient right here that I'm not about to try to say, and this is what it looks like, or somewhat what it looks like, it works as a chain to link all of the bonds that have been broken back together. And let me show you what I mean. So before you color your hair, your bonds are looking like this. And mind you, we're talking about the disulfide bond, right? The one that can be permanently changed, or the one that's permanently changed. So this is what the disulfide bond looks like before you color your hair. Once you color your hair, if it's not done properly, or if it's done with a color that's too harsh for your natural pH balance or whatever, they all start to look like this, right? They all break apart and they stand on their own. What Olaplex does, I don't know if you can see it, you can't because it's yellow, my bad. Olaplex is the yellow. Oh, you can see it. Olaplex is the yellow. So this is, remember, this is what it looks like before the hair color. Happy. And then it breaks apart. They broke up. They stand by themselves. And that little thing, right there, that word that I can't say, with Olaplex comes in and it just sticks everything back together. And then eventually they get back together and they cool. But the Olaplex be like, listen, girl. We just gonna put y'all back together, girl. If you got heat damage, get you some Olaplex, okay? And start doing Olaplex treatments. It's not gonna be the first time you use Olaplex. It's gonna be like, boom, you got juicy curls. Not necessarily. Start a Olaplex treatment. I mean, like, go through a couple of these. Like, go through a couple of bottles of these. I recommend, because they have the smaller ones. If you have heat damage, I recommend you getting the bigger ones and like really treating your hair. I'm gonna go ahead and try to find some links to put in the description box so you guys can get Olaplex. If they're not in the description box, I cannot find any links, but I really recommend that you guys go ahead and get you some Olaplex. And if you don't listen to anything else that I had to say in this video, please educate yourself and stop arguing with people who have already educated themselves, okay? Because natural, yes, there are a group of women who straighten their hair and their hair got heat damage and it's dusty. Yes, that is true. But just know that, like I said, you can manipulate, just like you manipulate the disulfide bond with hair color on purpose to color your hair. People want to purposely manipulate their disulfide bond through either heat training. Heat training is just a way to say I gave myself heat damage on purpose. That's what it means. It means that I straighten my hair on very, very high heat so I can retrain my disulfide bond to stay straight. So I can retrain my cuticle to stay straight. And there's nothing wrong with that. And this is the thing. You can have broken down disulfide bonds that are put back together in a healthy way and it still feels good. Keratin, that's all a keratin treatment is. A keratin treatment overloads you with a comfortable amount of things that can break down your disulfide bonds in a safe way with a keratin based product, okay? Keratin is what your hair is actually made of. A keratin treatment is treating the keratin in your hair to break down those disulfide bonds permanently but subtly, okay? And most African Americans do relaxers because our curls are way tighter. But if like Caucasian women or other women will do keratin treatments because with them it'll be like frizz or it'll get really puffy, so they'll do keratin treatments, and we do relaxers. Stop trying to put everybody and everything in a box, girl. If you got damage, girl, get you some Olaplex, girl. And yes, girl, stop air drying your hair all the time because you're breaking down your own disulfide bonds and your own hydrogen bonds and messing up your hair too. So the next time somebody says something, if you're a hairstylist and you want to explain the chemical breakdown of heat and what it does to your hair and all of that, whatever, show this video to them. And if you're a hairstylist and somebody getting on your nerves and they're trying to make you explain how to do your job, girl, stop explaining stuff. I'm gonna leave this video up forever, girl. Just show them this video. Or if you're somewhere and somebody's asking you about your hair and your hair color and your natural hair, you tell them about your hydrogen bonds, girl. Learn. If we know better, we do better. I love you guys so much. If you are not doing so already, make sure you are subscribed here to my channel, and once you subscribe, make sure you click that bell notification so you're notified every time I post a new video. And make sure you are following me on Instagram, because on Instagram we're doing like topics and stuff. I got my topic for the Olaplex there. I love Olaplex, guys. Olaplex isn't paying me to say this, but I mean, Olaplex, I think I did a good job. So I don't know, like, if you guys want to, Olaplex, we can get this show on the road, okay? Yeah. So I love you guys so much, and like I said, make sure you're following me on Instagram and all of that stuff, and go into some Olaplex, girl. And this is what it looks like. That's number 2. That's the first one. Don't look at my nails, bro. I color hair all the time. Yes, yeah. Do we like Olaplex? Do we get it? Yeah, like, leave me some comments below. Let me know what you think, even the grandkids too. If you guys want to argue with yourselves, 'cause I don't really care, and I have YouTube set up for code words, so whenever you like type all that stuff out, nobody's even gonna see you, girl, so don't be wasting your stuff. I love you guys so much, and until my next video, bye, girl.